Hi, it's Oxygen Dealer with Tampa Bay Holistic Wellness, and welcome to Oxygen Dealer's Coffee Enema Experience. It's part one of a three-part series to familiarize you with the components involved in using the coffee enema. We're going to take it for granted right now that because you're watching this video, you've seen the prior videos on doing your due diligence and finding out as much as you can about the coffee enema and making an informed decision. Now you're coming here to just learn how to do it. Okay? So that's what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the equipment list. We're going to talk about some dangers and pitfalls to avoid. And then we're going to, the other videos will be about doing the act itself live for you from beginning to end, as well as a section on Q&A so that you can get my little take and my lens that I'm looking through regarding the use of the coffee enema, and Gerson therapy actually is part of the stack in our metabolic program. So that's where it's coming from. And ask pain avoidance. About this equipment on the kitchen table is like, this is the last time that you should have your kit. Like maybe when it gets home, this is the last time you want to have it on the table, right? You don't want to have your old lady or your old man breathing down your neck, especially if they're not into coffee enemas yet, because you have that stuff in here, right? So what you want to do is move this stuff to the bathroom and always have it hanging out there, and just have a liaison. Adopt a picture dedicated to your coffee enema experiences, something that's sturdy, something that has a cap, so that you can transport the coffee from here to the bathroom. And that way you're not trying to hang up your can or your pouch while it's full of coffee, right? The other thing you want to do is just be very careful of where this is at. This is full of hot coffee. If you're doing things early in the morning, you could knock it over. So just be cognizant of where this is. The equipment checklist, right? So the first thing we have your stainless steel can. It's got a little metal nipple here. Now listen, this nipple is not going to be tight, so you got to tighten it, or what's going to happen is you're going to drip it all over yourself. You got a really long tube here. Everybody else seems to shaft you on the tube, but Aussie Health Company does a really good job. Now the most important thing I think is this clamp. Okay, this clamp, when you snap it shut, will make sure that nothing flows out of this when you're filling this up with coffee, right? Because if this is open like this and you fill this up with coffee, it's just all over your face, man. You're gonna get it all over you, right? So what you wanna always do is anytime you're coming to the coffee enema kit is just engage the snap shut. First thing you do, every time you walk up to it, just do it. Trust me, I didn't at first. The next thing you have here is a filter, and if you're going to keep this filter on, it's great. If you're going to keep it on, take a picture of it, make a mental note of the direction of the colors, so that when you're taking it off and cleaning it and you put it back together, it works. Because after a while, your hose is going to look like this when you're a professional, and you're not going to be able to see or remember how you had it before. So this is a good time to show you that here's this filter, and here's the tip. This comes off also so you can clean it. But here's mine. This is mine with a few modifications. One of is that it's missing the filter, so I don't have to go through any drama with that, right? So what I've done is I just cut it right here, took this tip and put it right on it, and just bypass the filter. You can do that, and it'll make it easier if you're using Oxygen Dealer's Ultimate Coffee Enema Concoction, because there's going to be other ingredients that are floating around. So here we go. So the only thing really left to talk about is the tip. Okay, so Aussie Health Company is very generous. You got 3 of these awesome super soft tips. Look at this. Really soft, really pliable. Yeah, very forgiving, right? And it kind of makes love to you. It's very gentle. This is another one which the size is really great. I like it, but the plastic is very hard, very unforgiving, and the tip is scratchy, right? Um, the other one they give you is the classic old school coffee enema nipple. It's hard, it's very unforgiving, and it's scratchy all over it. If you are breaking the rules of the coffee enema, which is to not be in a hurry and not have a loving, gentle approach, you're going to run the danger of scratching your rectum. So I can't stress this enough. This is the most important thing you're going to hear from me, is that when you're inserting this tube into your anus, you want to have it lubed up with some organic coconut oil or your favorite non-toxic lube you got in the bedroom. And you really want to give a loving, gentle approach to inserting this through door number 1 and eventually door number 2, but we'll talk about that later. If you're in a hurry and you're using one of these bad boys and you scratch your rectum because you didn't have any lube on it, you were in a hurry, you were not present, it'll be a bad day for you, right? So you really want to be very, very gentle. I cannot stress this enough. You want to not be in a hurry. You want to be present. You want to have some love juice on there, and you want to be able to be relaxed. All right. So let's talk about two more things. Let's talk about height and heat. So when you're setting up your coffee enema kit in the bathroom, how high you set it up is going to determine the rush of the liquid out to your body. So I always encourage people to start off with the Gerson standard, which is having the can or the pouch 18 inches above the rectum, and see how you can handle that. And as you start to do more and more of them, you can raise that pouch. The pouch I have is about 5 feet up at least, if not 6. And it allows for me to get the part of that piece where we're getting the coffee enema concoction inside you. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes with me. It'll take a little longer the lower that you have the can. So just remember that the height of the can determines the rush of the fluid into you, okay? And how dramatic that could be. The other thing is temperature. You don't want to put anything too hot. You want it to you want it to cool down to your body temperature before you put it inside you. A great way to check is just put your hand on it. If it's hot to the touch and it's uncomfortable, then you'd want to wait until that you can touch it and it's comfortable. Okay? The stainless steel can and the travel pouch. The stainless steel can is amazing because it allows you to just throw stuff in there, you know, and allows you to stir it. It just allows you to work with it, and it has a good base. It can stand up. Their pouch can't stand up by itself. It's just hanging, right? So having the can allows you to get creative, you know. And if you're using Oxygen Dealer's Ultimate Coffee Enema Concoction, having the can proves really, really essential, especially if you're going to be at home. In my world, in the world I come from in the military, 1 is none and 2 is 1. So really, anything that you really care about, you want to have a backup of, right? So you should have a second coffee enema kit. I encourage you to have, in addition to your can at home, you know, whether you use Aussie Health Company or this is from a different company, but you know, look how portable this is compared to the can. And if you travel a lot, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, you either have figured it out already or you're about to figure out how important the coffee enema is to cleaning your liver. You know, try to go a week without flushing your toilet while you're using it. Really, use your toilet for a whole week and don't flush it. See what happens. That liver, if you're 40 years old, hasn't been flushed in 40 years. Think about that. So you always want to be able to have a coffee enema kit with you when you see how good it feels, when you feel the ultra high well-being that you will feel. I could guarantee it. I mean, that's a claim I could make, is that the ultra high well-being that you will feel will make you want to have one of these all the time. Okay? So If I had to make a choice between the can and the pouch, I would always just get a pouch because, again, I think portability and being able to do one wherever you're at is of paramount importance compared to the luxury of having the can to stir stuff in. Because remember, you're stirring it in here first and you can just pour it into your pouch, right? So if you're forced to choose to only buy one, I would get the travel kit. Okay, so let's talk about little dramas. Uh, Little dramas are what I define as little things that don't have to happen that are avoidable, that cause a lot of frustration, uh, simply because you just weren't paying attention, right? You just didn't know yet, right? So I have some rules here that are written in blood, right? These are mistakes that I have made. So one of the first mistakes I've made is I've poured coffee into the can, and then in the dark, or it's 4 in the morning, and then I knock the can over and it spills, and I have to start all over again, right? Um, Another little drama I've had is I've left the hose on the floor, went to go do something, had coffee in it, and the first thing I do is hit the hose, falls on the floor. It's another one we can avoid. Um, Probably thinking, what's this guy doing leaving this on the floor? But at first I didn't care. Anyway, the next drama is the drama of you pouring stuff in here and it running through the hose, and then the hose going crazy and spraying it all over the room. Okay, I did that too, twice. So what you want to do is, to avoid that little drama, is you just want to come here and just always make sure that the clamp is engaged, right? So you just snap, snap, snap. There you go. There's tip drama, okay? So as you can see with this tip, this is beautiful. It's very soft, very pliable, very forgiving, very small, right? Um, this is something that you want to endeavor to use every time, you know? But where the danger comes in is if you run out of these because you're having like a coffee enema party or something, right? You got all your friends over, and you have to resort to these. These can hurt you because these are hard, and a lot of times they're scratchy on the ends, right? It's a harder plastic. So if I was in a pinch, I would use this one because of the size, right? And I would be very delicate. I'd be very gentle. But this is the old school coffee enema tip, and I would not use this. I would just stick the tube in my butt. I wouldn't even use this. There's no way, man. This hurts a lot. It really does. It kind of tests your fortitude, you know. Some of you guys are not going to like it at all. Some of you guys are going to love it. Some of you may not give a shit. But what I would do is I would avoid this tip at all costs. And again, in addition to ordering extra clamps, I would order extra tips. Can't have enough tips, can't have enough clamps. Get an extra hose while you're at it too. You should be doing 2 of these a day. 2 of these a day is what you should be doing. That really covers it. We covered the equipment list, some pitfalls, how to avoid them, and look out for the next video. Right now, we're about to set up. We're gonna set the scene.